Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all our Sip&Talkers out there. No matter what time zone you're tuning in from, welcome back to Sip&Talk.
It's great to be here.
I am in a fantastic mood today, but I have to tell you, my energy levels almost completely flatlined yesterday.
Oh no, what happened?
I had a moment where I almost socially self-destructed. I was texting a friend of mine. He lives in Shanghai.
Okay.
We haven't chatted in ages, and I'm, walking down the street, typing fast. I'm trying to ask him if he's working on his startup.
Right.
So in Chinese, that's chuanji. But my thumbs are just clumsy, autocorrect hates me, and I accidentally sent chow.
Chow. Wait, that means taking medicine, doesn't it?
Yes. So instead of asking, are you doing a startup?
Yeah.
I just straight up asked him, are you taking medicine?
Okay, I mean, that's an awkward typo, for sure. But you just correct it, right? Send a laughing emoji and move on.
That is exactly what I thought would happen. But he didn't laugh. He sent back this barrage of question marks, panic emojis. He thought I was using a code word. He immediately assumed taking medicine was some new slang for having a mental breakdown.
Wow.
Or worse, that I was asking if he was being interrogated or something. He was genuinely like, what do you know? Is someone watching me?
That reaction is,
yeah.
Wow. That's actually the perfect primer for what we're digging into today.
It really shook me. He told me later he has this occupational disease from living on the Chinese internet.
An occupational disease.
Yeah. He said if he sees a weird word, his brain doesn't think typo. It thinks avoidance. He thinks I'm trying to dodge a filter.
So he needs Morse code skills just to have a casual chat.
Exactly. That's what he said. It's fascinating and honestly a little terrifying. It highlights exactly what we're talking about today.
It really does. In that digital ecosystem, language isn't just for communication anymore. It's a high-stakes game of dodgeball.
Dodgeball against algorithms.
Exactly. Against algorithms and censorship machines.
It feels like walking on eggshells, but the eggshells are also landmines.
Precisely. It's basically language natural selection. And today we are going to explore how language mutates when a society can't speak normally. We'll look at everything from the famous grass mud horse to letters like ZF and JC.
And we are definitely going to debunk that lazy argument people make, you know the one.
Oh, I know it.
Well, isn't the whole world the same? Doesn't the U.S. have censorship too? We're going to get into why that is just a false equivalency.
We certainly will. But first, let's go back to your friend's panic. Why that reaction? We need to understand the mechanism.
Right. Break it down for us. How does this system actually force people to, change the vocabulary of their daily lives?
It all starts with something called keyword filtering. The internet in China isn't just monitored. It's actively filtered by this massive combination of AI and human sensors.
So it's a blacklist system.
It is. If you type a specific word, say government or police or protest, that word can trigger a filter. Best case, your post just disappears. Poof.
And worst case?
Worst case, your account gets shadow banned, so no one can see what you post, or it gets deleted entirely.
So to keep your digital identity alive, you have to invent a whole parallel language. You can't just stop talking about life.
You have to talk around it.
Yeah.
Correct. And the most basic layer of this survival vocabulary is the pinyin acronym.
Okay, so for anyone who might not know, pinyin is just the romanization of Chinese characters.
Right.
Yeesh.
So take the word for government, Xingfu. If you type the characters for Xingfu in a critical way, the scanners flag it. So people started just typing ZF.
ZF, it sounds like a car model or something, not the state.
Exactly. It strips away the authority, but more importantly, it gets past the bot. Same for police, Jingcha. That becomes JC.
Or sometimes GA, right? For Gong'an, public security.
That's right.
It feels like reading a secret agent file. The JC are reporting to the ZF, but it goes even higher than that. It's not just the enforcers.
This is where it gets really dystopian. Even the word China, or the party, the CCP, can get flagged if the AI thinks your sentiment is negative.
So what do people use instead?
The organization, that party. Or just abbreviations like for Zongguo. They had to strip the identity away just to get the sentence posted.
It's so sterile. It just removes all the emotion, all the history. But humans are creative, right? It's not all just boring letters. There's a lot of dark humor in there, too. I was reading about the hats.
Ah, yes. The visual metaphors. This is where the language becomes almost poetic in this really dark way.
Because police wear caps?
Exactly. So they became the hats, Mao Zi. Or sometimes the uncles because in propaganda they're often called police uncles.
So a post saying the uncles are coming for dinner does not mean a family reunion.
It means a raid.
And drinking tea, that's a classic. I feel like that one has sort of crossed over into Western knowledge a bit.
It's the gold standard euphemism.
Yeah.
If state security calls you in for an interrogation, you aren't arrested, you are invited to drink tea.
It sounds so civilized, but everyone knows what it means.
The terror is implied. It's softening authoritarianism with a polite phrase.
Okay, there was one example in the research that I laughed out loud, even though it's objectively awful. The paratroopers.
Oh, this is a prime example of the Cobra effect, where the solution makes the problem worse.
Right.
So there's a very common, very vulgar insult in Chinese, Sha Bi. The acronym is SB. So the platforms blocked SB to clean up the internet.
Okay, so you can't call someone an idiot. That seems nice.
In theory. But people still wanted to insult each other. So they looked for another word that starts with S and B that wouldn't be blocked. They landed on San Bing.
Which means?
Paratrooper.
No way!
Oh, yes. So suddenly, thousands of teenagers are calling each other paratroopers online as a vicious insult.
That's hilarious.
It got so bad that the actual official military accounts had to issue a statement complaining that the term paratrooper was being stigmatized.
So they forced the internet to insult the military because they banned a swear word.
That's it. It shows you can't just suppress language. It just squirts out the sides.
Yeah.
But we have to talk about the big one. The most strictly censored topic. The top leader.
The Voldemort of the Chinese internet. The censorship around him is the most sophisticated, the most sensitive. You can't say the name without risking your account.
Which has led to some of the most creative and frankly absurd code names. Everyone knows Winnie the Pooh.
That's the famous one, got the poor bear banned from movies. But there's also Bozy, or steamed bun, from a photo op years ago.
A steamed bun.
And then there are the homophones.
Yeah.
The term Xi Jinping, literally narrow neck bottle. It sounds just like the name Xi Jinping. So for a while, people were having these deep political discussions about narrow neck bottles.
Imagine being a censor. You have to ban bottles and bears and steamed buns. It sounds exhausting.
And eventually it just reaches total abstraction. People just refer to that one or you know who.
It's an acknowledgement that the power is so absolute it doesn't even need a name.
That's it.
It's terrifyingly impressive. But it's not just people, it's time itself.
Yeah.
There are dates on the calendar that literally don't exist on the Chinese internet.
Right. Now we're moving into historical amnesia. The most sensitive date is, of course, June 4th, the Tiananmen Square anniversary.
So every year, the internet scrubbing just goes into overdrive.
Total overdrive. You can't post a candle emoji. You can't type the date.
So how do people remember? How do they signal to each other that they haven't forgotten?
They do the math. They talk about May 35th.
May 35th.
Because May has 31 days plus 4 gets you to June 4th. Or they'll say 8 squared because 8 times 8 is 64. 6-4. Or even Roman numerals. VIV.
May 35th. That sounds like a title from a magical realism novel, but it's really just this desperate attempt to keep a memory alive.
It is. And more recently, we saw this with the white paper protests in 2022. The A4 revolution.
And now.
Now, references to blank sheets of paper or A4 are high-risk keywords.
It's like the government is constantly rewriting the dictionary. And speaking of rewriting, I love, and by love I mean hate, the way the state reframes hardship. It's like corporate speak gone completely wrong.
It's Orwellian language beauty, I think is the term. When the youth unemployment rate hit record highs, the government actually stopped publishing the data.
Right. I remember that.
And then they started using terms like flexible employment or slow employment.
Slow employment. That just sounds like being unemployed with extra steps. I'm not jobless. I'm just employed. Slowly.
Exactly. And layoffs. They're not layoffs. They're optimization or graduating from the company.
Congratulations, you've graduated from your salary. Ugh, that's infuriating. But there was one term in the sources that really chilled me. Soft ribs. Yes.
That doesn't sound like corporate speak. That sounds like a threat.
It is.
Right.
This term went viral during the pandemic lockdowns. There was a video of a confrontation. A community worker threatened a resident, implying that if he didn't comply, it would affect his son's future. He said his son is his soft rib.
Oh, my God. His weakness. The thing you can twist to make him comply. The term soft ribs just exploded online. It became a symbol for how the state holds your family hostage.
That is so dark. It's weaponizing love. It's saying, we know you can endure pain, but can you watch your child endure it?
That's the leverage.
And I guess that leads to the other big trend we saw, runology.
Run Zoo. They use the English word run because it sounds a bit like a Chinese character for profit, but it just means flee. Emigrate, get out. It's the study of how to escape the system.
So you have soft ribs keeping you there and runology trying to get you out. This is heavy. It's not just about funny words to get a tweet posted. This has to mess with your head.
It absolutely does. And this is where we move from memes to, well, actual brain damage. There's a concept called cognitive compression.
Cognitive compression. Okay, unpack that for us. That sounds technical.
Think about it this way. Language is a tool for thinking. If you don't have the words to describe a problem, you can't actually think about the solution. If you cannot say, the government made a policy error, but you can only say, ZF is doing an adjustment, you lose the ability to critique the structure. The responsibility just, it evaporates. The problem becomes fuzzy in your own mind.
It's like trying to do surgery with a spoon. You just can't be precise. If I can't call something a recession and I have to call it slow growth, do I eventually stop believing it's that bad?
That's exactly it. And it creates a split personality, a kind of dual reality. In public, you have to perform, post positive energy. Life is getting better.
But in private, in code, you're cynical and struggling.
And eventually that line blurs. You don't know which version of you is real.
I can imagine that just destroys trust between people, too.
Completely. It leads to what sociologists call atomization. If everyone's speaking in code, you can never be 100% sure of their intent. Is that person supporting the regime, or are they being sarcastic?
Are they a spy?
Exactly. So to protect yourself, you just stop trusting anyone. You pull back into your shell.
And when you can't blame the system because the system can't be named, you blame yourself.
And that is the privatization of pain. If I'm unemployed, it's not because of policy. It must be because I didn't work hard enough. Because if the system is infallible, and you can't say otherwise, the failure has to be yours.
That's heartbreaking. It's just gaslighting on a national scale. But I know there's someone listening right now thinking, okay, sure, China is strict, but come on, the US has censorship too. What about cancel culture? Political correctness. If I say the wrong thing, I can get fired. Isn't it the same thing?
The whataboutism defense. We have to address this because it's a very, very common argument.
It's the whole world is the same theory. I hear it all the time.
Right. Psychologically, it's a defense mechanism. A mix of maybe Stockholm Syndrome and cognitive dissonance. If you admit your situation is uniquely oppressive, it's painful. It's easier to say, well, it's bad everywhere.
So you don't feel like you're missing out on freedom. But practically, is it the same?
No. And we need to be very clear about the distinction here. It's the difference between state power and social pressure.
Break that down.
In China, the censorship is top-down. It's the government. If you cross the line, you face the police. You get invited to drink tea. And the rules are a black box. You never know exactly what's banned, so you self-censor everything just to be safe.
Right. And here?
In the West, it's bottom-up social pressure. If you say something hateful, you might get canceled. A private company might fire you. And that's a real consequence, yes.
What?
But the FBI doesn't erase the word president from the internet. The government doesn't arrest you for mocking the leader.
So getting yelled at on X is not the same as getting interrogated by the state.
It's a world of difference. But the danger is normalcy bias. People start to believe that censorship is order and free speech is chaos. They see their silence not as oppression, but as a sign of maturity.
I'm too smart to get in trouble.
That's when the system is truly won.
Wow. That hits hard. It really shows how adaptable we are, but also how tragic that adaptation can be.
It is. We're watching a masterclass in how to reshape reality by reshaping the words used to describe it.
So we've talked about the funny acronyms, the dark reality of soft ribs, and the psychological toll of never being able to speak your mind clearly. It's a lot. We've seen how language gets bent and how truth gets packaged just to survive.
It's a lot.
But I want to leave a more important reminder for everyone listening. The problem here, it isn't about a specific ethnicity or a specific group of people. It's about the environment.
Right. Put any group of humans in that pressure cooker and they will react the same way.
Exactly. And I think if you're listening to this and you've ever hesitated to speak the truth because you wanted to feel safe, maybe you just didn't know how to say it safely.
Yeah.
You are not alone. And it's not strange. It's a human instinct.
It is.
But history proves one thing. Language can be restricted. You can ban Winnie the Pooh. You can ban the date June 4th. But understanding that cannot be destroyed, people find ways to recognize each other.
The code itself is proof of resistance.
Yes, even if it's just through a joke or a look or even a moment of silence.
That's a beautiful point.
So everyone listening, wherever you are living, under whatever system, Just retaining the ability to think, to distinguish, and to feel the truth in your own heart, that is a power in itself. Change doesn't always come from shouting. Sometimes it just comes from not forgetting that language is meant for understanding each other, not for fearing each other.
Well said.
As long as you are willing to listen and think and try to speak clearly, the future is not closed.
I couldn't agree more.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Sip and Talk. We really appreciate you spending your time with us.
And hey, before you go, please remember to subscribe to our show, Sip and Talk. And we also want to give a huge shout out to our old friend Mickey.
Yes, go Mickey.
He has a YouTube channel called Mickey to Life. He has a new travel vlog up, and he is out there fighting the algorithm, just like everyone we talked about today.
He's doing great work, so go give him some love.
Please do. And just a quick disclaimer, today's discussion was an objective look at facts and language evolution. We are not giving investment advice or discriminating against anyone. We just want to help you think.
Absolutely. Keep thinking, keep talking, and maybe double check your typos before you text your friends in Shanghai. I'm Sunny.
And I'm Joe. See you next time.